Rachel Zegler speaks for Disney, and people are trying to say that she doesn't. And I'm going to debunk that now. This is controlled opposition. Ziegler has taken off the mask of the hatred that women have for men in Disney. And so people are trying to say that she's just a bad individual and that she doesn't speak for Disney, but she does. She was just too blatant about it. So look at this video from Altiori, and I'm going to have to debunk her because, like I say, this is controlled opposition. Let's bring this up. And also, I want to just point out that my man, Mr. Pink and Yellow, says that, feminine women are actually the biggest man haters. Here's Ziegler. She's not overweight. She doesn't have dyed hair. She's dressed sexually to turn men on, right? And yet she's going to shit on men for the same thing. Here she is competing with Gal Gadot, right? Since Gadot has a better body, she has to show more flesh off, right? She's against the prince being with the Snow White getting together with the prince, yet she's showing off her sexuality, right? To attract men.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again.
This is a total lie. Feminists are lies. They just don't speak lies. They're actually anti-truth.
So serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World. It was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't.
Really? So you saw as a kid that had scary adventures and you were forced to go on it? No, of course. Look, kids aren't afraid of that. That's why they've been going on those rides for years. This girl is lying. Period.
Sounds like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again. So we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not.
Okay, everyone who thinks that Gal Gadot here is some hero, here she is with a great big smile, saying she's not going to be saved by the prince. In other words, the male character isn't going to be a hero, and he isn't going to get anything. Right? That's what they're saying. This is anti-male. So there's two kinds of women. There's the ones that are overt about their hatred, and there's the ones who put on the mask and enable it. Gal Gadot is not any better than Ziegler. She's on this project 100%.
Prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love.
Yeah, they certainly are. Now listen, if Disney wants...
I'm glad they actually put down fairy tale feminism. Talk TV has actually said it right.
To make more woke films that tank at the box office.
No, they have feminism down here, and then she uses the word woke. Right. This is what men have to deal with. These protective, derailing labels.
More than welcome to do that, but maybe think of an original idea. Maybe not destroy a classic from my childhood.
Yeah, you see, think of an original idea to spit on men, right? They're using Disney to spit on women because the whole point is that they hate men so much, they're going back and rewriting history. This is 1984 memory hole, right? They're rewriting history so men can't ever look back and see something good about ourselves. Remember, this is not about female supremacy. This is about man hatred. That's what feminism is, right?
Put an actress in there that not only hates the plot and the storyline of the movie she's in, but...
See what I'm talking about, everyone? The actress who hates the plot of the movie. But Disney is the ones changing the plot of the movie. The company is. She's only a spokesperson.
Who seemingly hates Snow White, the character, herself. I mean, that's one interview clip.
She doesn't hate Snow White. She only hates that Snow White gets together with the prince. You understand that? She hates the prince. She hates the man.
Read the quote from, but she's gone on to talk about this film numerous times, how she once thought Snow White was creepy. She doesn't like the prince. She thinks...
Yeah, she can't keep her mouth shut. She's actually the perfect spokesperson for Disney, because this is how Disney feels, everyone. Altiori, this is how Disney feels. This is what they do. Women do not like men. It would never get to this point if women liked men.
Get paid more because she has to wear that dress.
Once in a while, there does seem to be justice, doesn't there?
There's no justice here. Disney is still as feminist as it always has been. And they're going to continue to crank out these nasty anti-male movies.
People learn from their freaking mistakes. Well, I can't really say much for learning from mistakes, but be corrected.
Yeah, because they're not mistakes. So there's nothing to learn from. This is on purpose, Altiori. And I've been saying this to multiple YouTubers. And when I say it, they either never hear it or they hear it and they ignore it.
Or is their actions? Because never did I ever imagine that people would feel entitled enough to seem untouchable or making their employers look bad.
She's not making her employers look bad, though. This is what her employers are.
Cartoons made 85 years ago is extremely dated when it comes to the ideas of women being in roles of power.
You see, she just said it. It's about power. Women want power. Women have always had power. It's just that it's always been covert. And now we're at the point in history that women can do it overtly. The mask is off. That's the only difference here. There's two groups of women: the women who like the covert power and those who want it overt. There isn't a third one where the woman's on the man's side. And again, she's talking about women being empowered. Look how she's dressed. She's dressed like Snow White in so much that she's dressed to attract a male. Zegler wants a man, a high status man with money that she can rule over and let him do all the work. If she's not breaking any gender roles.
And she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Thank you for admitting it again. It's true love. There is no true love. True love is having a guy work for you.
It's just like such a fun movie. That actress is so smug, and this movie's gonna flop.
Rachel Zegler has been a menace to Hollywood society. Her entitled and repulsive attitude towards products of the studio that she was working for, representing towards fans, towards people, and just...
Well, not just fans and people. Come on, be honest. About men. That's what's going on here, Altiori. She's attacking men at Disney's behest, right? The thing is, they're not thinking about the little girls who won't like the movie. They're thinking about the guys who see this and we get the message that women don't like men. See, that's who they're going for. This is a hate movement. It's not a female supremacy movement. It's a male hating movement. And they're willing to sacrifice little girls' dreams to damage men. That's what's going on here.
Has gotten everything to converge and form a temporary alliance in their absolute despise of what she represents. And there was a rumor floating around that she was going to be fired.
You're full of shit. Because she represents Disney. No one's against what she represents. She's just too overt about the hatred.
Snow White, the movie, was already made at the time, but now I didn't think she'd be fired from that movie. But it turns out that she was supposed to also be in Paddington 3, and they decided to drop her ass. Because funny enough, I know, tickle me red, it's actually bad for business to have somebody out there gawking their everlasting throat about things that make everyone divisive.
No, she doesn't make people divisive. What she is, she's too blatant about her male hatred. That's all that's going on here. Disney hates men. They've been doing this for years now, okay? For years. Now, let's see. Oh, yeah, this one, because then we talk about, guess what? She's going to talk about the men and in contrast how they're treated to the women, right?
But you have a character who is portrayed by someone who ironically exudes more elegance than she does. It makes sense why they would fire someone like her, because she is costing the productions a lot of money by turning people away from seeing the dregs of people who were going to see it in the first place. And I hate to bring this up, but there was a double standard that was happening. And whatever actors, specifically men, had a scandal attached to their name, or there was just some drama or allegation against them, they were immediately cut from every production that they were supposed to be starring without it.
Exactly, because it's a man hatred. It's people don't like men. And so any excuse, any finger pointing, they get lynched. That's what's going on here. And you'll notice Zegler, she could go on and on and on before they finally had to get rid of her.
Been guilty or innocent or whatever. However, you would have people like Rachel, who claim to champion for femininity, and women being the worst representation of not only the studios that they're working in.
Look at this. Snow White 22 is slammed as fake feminist. No, no, no. That's gaslighting. She is the true article. She is the true article. And you're right. Spacey was actually, I think, finally let go, right? These men are innocent and they're being attacked because they're men. Doesn't matter if they're guilty or innocent, right?
Also of the community they claim to be representing or be proud to be representing. And they're doing a bad job at both. And
No, sucker. They represent man haters and she's doing a fine job at it. Just that she's doing too fine a job. It's all about to keep the mask up enough so that there is so we can deny it, right? But no one can deny it. Rachel is too obvious. She's too overt, right? So don't go on. Now she's going to go on about this stupid go woke, get broke, or whatever you want to call it.
it's like the studios don't get this until they start losing money. And it takes a few years before they understand. And funny,
A few years. Look, lady, in the past, if a movie flopped, they would learn instantly. This has been going on since, Ghostbusters 2016. So it's going to be 8 years soon. So this isn't about a learning curve. They're doing this on purpose.
other students will see someone else falling over the cliff and they'll think to themselves, wow, they just fell over that cliff. I better go do it too. Must be the new trend. And I guess it takes them an entire era of existence to realize that might not be a good idea and it actually.
You're full of shit. Because Altiori, was it Gillette made an anti-male ad willingly, and so did Budweiser recently. They've seen the Disney and these, feminist products losing, and they jumped on anyway. Because this isn't about someone taking up something new. People don't like men. People like to attack men. And that's what's going on here. That's what's going on here. Okay? And just to prove it, notice they just can't come right out and fire Ziegler. They can't just say, oh, you did a terrible job and we're firing you. Right?
Finance. Now it's funny because they'll claim that Zegler's role in the movie has been recast due to her unavailability caused by the Screen Actors Guild American Federation of Television and Radio Artists strike for better wages. Kind of funny if you think about it. Protection against artificial intelligence and more. Sure, it was. Maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like something that someone would say as a means of plausible deniability, so she can't say, you discriminated against me because you didn't like what I said.
Well, actually, that would be absolutely true. So you can get Ziegler up here again. That's absolutely true, Altiori, because she is an actual representative of how Disney feels about the male population. So if they just said you did a terrible job and fire her, she can come back with lawyers and say, no, you guys are hypocrites because this is why you hired me. And I did everything I was supposed to. And now you're firing me for doing exactly what you told me to do. Again, Gal Gadot here. Notice she's all on board with the idea that, you know, Snow White doesn't get rescued by the prince. The prince gets nothing. You think I believe Gal Gadot is any better than Zegler here? Of course she isn't. She wears a mask. And that's it. She wears the mask better than Zegler. Right? So that's why they have to sweep it under the rug like this. That's why they have to make excuses. And the sad part is you're controlled opposition because you're making excuses, lady. People do not want to deal with actual human nature. They don't want to look in the mirror and say, yes, people find men disgusting because of bigotry. And it's innate, it's in my bones. I don't want to see myself as that kind of person. That's all that's going on here. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to be like Ziegler, and I'm taking the mask off. I'm going to be overt. There's no more hiding. So we'll end it here.